Hello, welcome pen friends. I'm here to do a pen profile. I'm not calling it a pen review because you'll see why. I've got a different nib on this pen and I just really want to talk about my experience with it. But there will be elements of the video that are much like a review. It's just that I don't really think that I should try to say that it is an actual review. So this is the Opus 88 Koloro in red. And it was gifted to me right around Christmas or my birthday, 2020, by pen friend MB. Thank you very, very much. And I just continue to enjoy the pen more and grow even more interested in the overall, in the whole brand, Opus 88. This Koloro is not the only line they have. I'm really interested in the Omar and some of the other pens that they're putting out now too. But what we're going to do, we're going to do a lot of things that I normally do in a review. We're going to really look at the pen, and I'll show you the packaging real quick first to get that out of the way. I'm the one that screwed it up, by the way. It was okay when it came to me. It has a little sleeve, and then it comes in a nice gift box with a kind of a magnetic thing, and you get, the pen is in here, so it's kind of in the foam with a little eyedropper. And it has a little booklet that, well, it wasn't all that helpful. The most helpful was the reviewers that I watched, that I could try to learn, you know, what to do. And actually, it was so much easier than I thought once I realized it's just an eyedropper pen and not a real difficult thing. But when I first saw it, I thought it was like way over my head and I wasn't sure. So, this pen is made with acrylic and with ebonite, so it's very unusual in what I have in my collection anyway. And I inked it up in January, and I've had it inked up off and on ever since, January, February, and March. And so I've gone down a whole explanation with this, but let me show you. This little thing came from my pen friend in Australia who sent me this little insert that came from some Colorverse inks, and it's nice because it shows the colors of the pens. The red one is the second one, but it comes in blue, red, yellow, green, and the clear demonstrator is a little bit different shape and everything, which I'm really interested in that. So this is the Opus 88 Koloro, but it has a different shape than the others. And there's also the Opus 88 Omar, which I just saw a review by SBRE Brown, and I'm just like, whoa, okay, I have to have that one. But anyway, let's look at this pen. So that's where it gets a little, that's why I can't really call it a review. I got to show you what I did with the nib that came on it. There was nothing wrong with it, but it was a medium nib, and I wanted to try it with the broad nib. So I saw on a someone else's review, I'm trying to think of where I read this, because I read so many things, that you could put a TWSBI mini nib unit in these. So that's what I have in here. It just, you know, it screws in and out, and it's been really great, really, really great. But let me show you the nib that came on it, because it's not fair what I'm doing. But I really thought about it, and I thought, no, I don't want to put it back on yet. So back in the TWSBI mini little place where I keep that nib, I put the one that came on it, which is like a Yo-Wo nib. And it's got this little part that I'm afraid of losing, but anyway, it kind of was like that when it came out. So it is a little bit different. Let me hold it nice and... what makes it different, it's a great nib, and it's a medium nib. The feed is different on this. That's the only thing to say, but it's very, very close, and so you can use the TWSBI mini unit. So that's what I did, because I wanted to know how I was going to like it with a broad nib, and I really do. So now that I understand, I can order from Pen Chalet. If it says special order, and then you put it in your cart and says out of stock, you can still order it and just wait for it to come. So that's what I'll probably be doing. But this is just a TWSBI broad nib unit right out of that. So it's not really fair. That's why I'm not calling this a review, and we'll just, when we write with it, we're not really writing with what I got in the package. But it's an eyedropper pen, and it's really neat because what you do, like right now that I'm going to write with it in a few minutes, you go ahead and open up the let's see, I keep calling it a knob, whereas it's actually a shut-off valve, and it just, it opens so that you get your good ink flow, but you go ahead and close it, because what I read was that it controls a stopper, and I've seen it. I could see it better when I was just playing with it when it wasn't filled up. Seals off the ink flow from the barrel to the nib, so it won't leak when you're not writing. So that's really great. And I actually stuck a Q-tip in there to make sure, because I had put it away with the knob open, and I probably shouldn't have done that. In fact, I had read not to do that. But since we're going to write with it, we'll leave it open. It's got a nice heavy-duty clip. I don't use clips, but it has one. And I really like the pen. I like the feel of it and the unusualness of it. And the section is comfortable for me. I can write and write and write with this, and that's what I've been doing. And it's got just a huge ink capacity. It's got at least 2 mil and probably more. Although I didn't like check the syringe to make exactly sure how much I was putting in there. It's definitely got a lot, and I've only brought it down to here, and I've written with it for quite a bit already. And I do like that fact that I can hold it up to the window and see where my ink is at. So it's been really, really nice. And it spurred all kinds of interest from me in these other pens. But what was interesting, and I wanted to get across to you, and I need to say this too, I'm having a terrible time with my camera, and it's malfunctioning. So it's working in this mode, which is a good thing for me, because in selfie mode it's doing some really bizarre things, which I don't know if it's just the universe's way of trying to discourage me from making a video or what, but it's not happening that way, so I have to do it all this way, which I don't like anymore. I like to do a combination. But what I am finding out is that I wouldn't have tried this pen. I've seen it on Instagram a lot before I was gifted the pen, but it wasn't on my radar. I had even looked into this one, because this was the one that I thought I would have wanted, you know, the most, but I was discouraged by the price. I think these are 120 and these are 93, something like that. So that put it at the time up out of my range. Since then, I've sold some things so that I could buy, I bought 5 pens and 3 pen cases, but that's a story for another day. And little by little, I'm going to be exploring and sharing on the channel. But at the time, I remember thinking, well, you know, it's a nib holder. And it is a nib holder, because if you're talking about a number 5 steel nib, we'll just discount that this is a TWSBI nib on there right now, but what it comes with is a number 5 Yo-O or Bach nib, depending on where you get it, and so on and so forth. But then this is a fancy nib holder. Some people could say that, and they'd be right, but I would have been really, really sad, you know, to not have this experience, and I'm really enjoying it. So that's where I wanted to be saying these things face to face to you, but I can't. It's irritating me. The fact that it's hard to convey the interesting quirks in the mind when you wouldn't have had something if it hadn't been either gifted to you or, you know, I got it the way I did. So my experience with eyedropper pens has been, I love the Moonman Mini, and I have had no problems with burping or anything with that one. And then I love my little Kaweco, and I do eyedropper this all the time, so that's how I write with it. And then I have an eyedropper, a Platinum Preppy, that was given to me by a very experienced fountain pen person who, you know, fixed this one up to be ready to go. And I've emptied an entire barrel of blue ink. Actually, it's funny because I know I cleaned it, but it looks like it's stained. Anyway, that's on me, not him. So I have the experience with good experiences with these 3, and then I had some bad experiences. I'm not going to put those poor pens up here for to be ridiculed, but I had a couple of Noodler's pens that just burped all over the place that were eyedropper, and then I had a difficult experience with a Moonman pen, which shouldn't have been difficult and needs to be revisited, but still, I wouldn't have realized that you could have such a trouble-free experience with an eyedropper pen until this pen came along. And I haven't had any trouble with it. What I have had is experiments. I'm going to show you because I think that's really important. And that's the part I wanted to get across. My first fill was in January. And I put in Robert Oster Antelope Canyon. And I was inexperienced at first. And once I got the fact that you needed to open the, I'm going to try to say it right, the shutoff valve. Once I realized that, that was great. Except that I really think that this ink was a little too dry for that nib. So then I went and changed it, and I went into the Ferris Wheel Press Autumn and Auburn, which I think I had mixed up with one of their other inks. But it had great flow with the TWSBI broad nib, and it was nice and juicy and everything, but it was too light for me. So I went right into Monteverde Canyon Rust, which I'm familiar with, and it's been great. It's been super great, and it gave me that simulation of what it'll be like with the broad nib. Not only that, but really, as far as I'm concerned, I don't need to get a separate nib unit. I can use that one because I don't always write with my TWSBI Mini, and I have a medium mini unit, so I have more nib units for that mini than I have pens, so I don't need to purchase an extra one. Anyway, that's too many words. But so once I got into this ink, which ink makes such a difference, it really does, that's made me really get the optimal experience with the pen. And I wish I just had in this already the broad nib from them so that I could give you that report. But at this point, I don't have it. But I will have, because it's not going to be my last. It's definitely not my last. I have a new one all ready to go, but I'm very slow at trying new things. So that's something that I realize too. I don't leap into new pens that quickly. But it has been since the TWSBIs, since I was this excited about a brand, and I thought, I think my viewers would like to hear from me, you know, how I feel about this, that it might just be something that you would have more on your radar or have someone else's experience, you know, noted with it. I'm trying to think if I made all these notes, literally. This is ridiculous. I haven't been able to focus well because there's been so much going on here. But anyway, I put down nib options, swappable nib unit. Yeah, because I didn't get that at first. I didn't realize that. And now that I know that, that really makes a difference to me. You know, all these measurements I'm just going to put in the description box. It's not really what this video was for. I just wanted you to hear from me. And I've talked about it a little bit, how excited I am about this. I mean, I'm just using this pen so much. It's ridiculous, really, considering how many that I have to write with. So what I like, okay, let's focus, Chris. I like that the ink shows, that I can kind of see. And I like the fact that, you know how much I love clear demonstrators, but there's some of the inks I like that will stain. And this will be nice because I'm not going to worry about that in this at all. If it does stain, it's really not going to show because it's already red. And if I stick with that color family. So that's one thing. The ink capacity is wonderful. Having, you know, 2 mil in there. Let's go ahead and just open it up and show you, even though hopefully I won't make a mess. I don't think I will. So I just syringed it right in, and it just goes in there. Let's see. You can see I use a syringe rather than an eyedropper because it was just easier. And no silicone grease is needed. It's quite easy, really. I mean, compared to even the other eyedroppers that I've used, it's totally simple. The next thing, the nib units are sold separately. Okay, it's beautiful. I really think it is. And you have all these color choices too. The quality materials, you can tell it just feels like a nice expensive pen. And it handles well. Now you can post it. I just don't, but I probably could write with it posted, but I have really small hands and I find that it's just easier not to. There's nothing wrong with posting it though. variety of colors and styles. Okay, I found it really easy to clean. Now, I freaked out at first and I thought, oh, it's not gonna, you know, I'll show you. I gotta open it up again. That's funny. When I first saw the end here, I thought, oh, my syringe isn't gonna fit in there. But I do have one. I'm gonna go get the one that I have just to show you that fits perfectly. So we'll do that. Because that's part of the experience too, to me, is having things easy. Okay, so this is the one I typically use, but this one is really perfect. This is from Radio Shack. It's really perfect because it sits right in that section and to run through the nib. I'm not going to do it right now because I will make a mess, but you know, as long as you you put it right up flush to that and hold it good, you get a really nice clean. And I had no problems. You know, I dried it with a paper towel, and then I let the whole thing, you know, I rinsed this part, the part that you eyedropper, and I just let it dry for a little while, but I really had no problems cleaning it. And I think I mentioned already it has a comfortable grip. So on the other side, on what I don't like, there really isn't anything except that it is outside of my usual price point. So when I received this as a gift, I thought it would probably, I'd never get another one because I just don't usually spend that much on a pen, $93. But then things happen. You know, income tax money comes, or stimulus money. I sold some things too. So when that happened, I thought to myself, the first thing I thought was, well, you know, how do I want to spend my discretionary money? And it was right away, I wanted to get one of these, which I ordered, and I ordered an Omar. So you're going to hear about all that later. But that's the reason I wanted to do this video, was because it's just been a surprising experience. Like I've enjoyed it so much. And it wasn't on my radar because I thought the pens were really neat looking, and I certainly couldn't miss the fact there was a lot of excitement going on Instagram about these pens, and there's so many different finishes. I think this one doesn't, yeah, this one just sticks with these three, the Colorverse X, Opus 88. So, you know, it doesn't have everything. In fact, I may somewhere in here have a pen catalog that might have them. You know, it's funny. It's like when you will go to the store and then Manuel will say, well, they don't carry such and such. And I'll tell them, well, we didn't even look. So they probably do, but we didn't look. We weren't looking for it. So, you know, so anyway, I hope this has been helpful to you. I'll put all the little details in the description. And I'm looking at my notes, because with all these notes, you'd think, oh, I put who will like this in conclusions. I think anybody who would like a nice eyedropper pen with a high ink capacity that's going to write a lot would probably really like this. And they say when you put it away, you close it up. And then when you're going to write, you open it up. That's the thing to remember. And it hasn't given me any trouble, so that's what's been really, really fun. So I think the frustrating part is I can't be face-to-face today because of my technical difficulties, but you wouldn't want to see my hair anyway. I cut my own hair, and I've been having a week of it. But anyway, I think that's all I wanted to say. It's made in Taiwan, and they've got 45 years plus experience making pens, and I just can't believe that I didn't, you know, consider it before this, or before getting gifted one. So I hope you're doing great, and it's the end, almost the end of, no, we just passed the middle of March. Wow, I'm trying to get the month to end, I guess. I got my first COVID vaccine on Wednesday of this week, and so 28 days after that, so April 14, I'll get my second one. So just kind of taking it one step at a time. And I hope that you're doing great, and anything I can answer, I'll try really hard to answer for you. But I'm excited about this brand, and I just am really, really grateful that I didn't totally miss out on it because of my tightwad, or whatever you want to call it. I certainly don't feel like a cheap whatever right now, because I I have already ordered one of the clear demonstrators and one of the Omars, so I'm just super excited. And I'll talk to you later. Bye for now. Well, I forgot to at least do a quick comparison with other pens and then a writing sample, so I just kind of tacking this on at the end. So here is the Opus 88 Koloro, and next to it is a TWSBI Eco. And then this is the Lamy Safari and the Platinum Preppy. But without any further ado, let's write with this pen, because that's what I meant to do. And I just seem to have lost my wings this week. So let's see if I can do this without knocking anything over. I'm going to bring you up closer, and hopefully we'll be able to see. But it's been really, really a good experience. So here we go. Opus 88 Koloro in the red with a TWSBI mini broad nib unit. Let's see if you can see what I'm doing. I hope so. Okay, we'll just do some squigglies, and I do write fast, but this pen has been keeping up really well. I've written a lot of pen pal letters and taken a lot of notes. I love this ink. It's Monteverde Canyon Rust. It's been with me since almost the beginning that I started in the pen hobby. I'm probably really close to finishing that bottle. But I really like the way the ink performs, and it was just really lucky that that nib unit could then give me the broad experience, the broad nib experience, without having to invest any more right now. Wait, Coco, we're almost done. This is going to be a Franken video here, but okay. So I just have been really pleased with it. This ink does shade quite a bit. I'm really running out of good light right now, so it's a little bit hard to show you. And I know we've written with this before because I've shown you during January Chris's inked pens and so forth. Whoops, Coco. Oh, careful, hun. Don't knock it over. Coco's coming to visit. Oh, dear. I think it's time to say goodbye. Say bye-bye. We'll see you later, friends. Okay. That's our signal. Bye for now. Oh, Coco's a good boy. Oops. Oh. Okay, look, show them your paw. That way they know you were here. Yeah, you're a good boy.